The Adams Center hosted a presentation of a one-man show of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. JT has been doing the show for 21 years and loves to perform it. PCN stopped in to check out all the excitement.
When he heard the chains.
Tonight we're doing a presentation of a one-man show about Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Dickens was very famous for doing annual readings of his work, A Christmas Carol, for family and friends, and he would take it on tour. So a number of years ago I decided I would try to do the same thing. I've been doing it for 21 years, so I have it pretty well memorized by now. The challenge is I have to take it out every year out of my brain and dust it off and get it ready. And I usually try to add small new pieces, change pieces, to keep it fresh for myself a little bit. So that, I think, is the biggest challenge. Coupled with that, I do a giant production of A Christmas Carol at the North Shore Music Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts. That production, where I play Fezziwig, has a cast of 30 people, fireworks, explosions, ghosts flying over the audience. Usually we get about 1,500 people in per performance. And so there's that big giant show, and then I go and do this one-man show at the same time. So sometimes adjusting the script in my brain is a little bit tricky. For me personally, it's one of the greatest stories ever. I think it's probably one of my favorite stories of redemption. And if we look at the arc of Ebenezer Scrooge, who goes from this horrible human being, mean-spirited, who's you know, like a lot of us, gone through many things in his life, been beaten up by a lot of things in his life, and then all of a sudden, in the course of an evening, in these visitations of memories from his past, have all that change and to become an entirely different human being is just such a great story. So I love it. I love it. I love telling it every single year. Having done it as long as I've been doing it, it doesn't take me nearly as long as it used to when I was first creating it. When I was first creating it, it took me a couple months to put it together and get used to it. And the first few years doing it and adjusting it, it would take me a few weeks anyway. Now I usually find I just have to brush it up maybe for 2 weeks before I actually present it. And it's funny, even after 21 years, I still come up to a line or a word and I'm like, what's that word? There's a word I'm missing here. So I have to go back to the original book and look it up and remember the parts and that sort of thing. But it certainly takes me a lot less time to prepare than it used to. So I love playing Charles Dickens every year. I love the vehicle of a one-man show. We tour throughout the country at different times of the year with other presentations. We've been here at the Adams Center a few months ago performing as Robert Frost. I tour as Benjamin Franklin, William Shakespeare, a few other characters. But I have to say, doing A Christmas Carol as Charles Dickens is indeed my favorite.
Paying out money for no work? It's